Good evening, this is the Oscar expert here with Brother Bro. Welcome to our final Oscar predictions. We're going to tell you what we think is winning. Let's start off with Best Picture. Not quite an easy category, although I think what I'm going to predict is easy. How could I not go with 1917? It won the Golden Globe, it won the BAFTA, it won the PGA. It would have to be a Moonlight level upset for anything else to disturb.
Parasite has won absolutely no awards. That's the only other movie I could see winning here. Even though Hollywood did win Critics' Choice and Golden Globe, I don't see that being the favorite. Seems like everybody's getting behind Parasite, and that didn't win Critics' Choice, so that leads me to believe that 1917 is the obvious frontrunner, despite how much I would rather see Parasite win.
During the nominations, everybody was predicting things that didn't have evidence to happen. Greta Gerwig director, Song Kang-ho supporting actor. It's the same thing to me. Why would I ever bet on something that has no wins?
Parasite is the dark horse. It has its own little train of momentum and hype and everything.
There's a path to win, but it's just I don't believe that the Critics' Choice would not give it to Parasite and the Oscars do. Hollywood could upset, and we're just not looking out for it because, as we know, Spotlight won with just the Critics' Choice Award.
Sorta. I'd just be shocked. I'd be shocked.
Look, I think Parasite has a shot at winning, and I understand the argument. There's more support for the acting and the writing and editing, which are very important areas to hit. In fact, Crash is a movie that sort of hit those areas and won Best Picture without winning BAFTA, Critics' Choice, anything. Parasite, we can look at Moonlight, we can look at Crash. But the best predictor of Best Picture is the Producers Guild. It's not Gold Derby. It's not the BAFTAs. If you're looking at what is the best odds, it is 1917, and I have to just follow the PGAs.
It's not a good argument to just throw in preferential ballot and say that helps the movie that you're rooting for, because the preferential ballot could just as well help anything, including 1917, which I think is a very likable movie.
If we look at IMDb, where I know Parasite's the highest rated movie of the year on IMDb, but 1917 has an 8.52. That's a really liked movie, too.
Exactly, yeah.
When they gave the PGA to Green Book, we said, oh no, well surely the Oscars will do the right thing and give it to Roma. No. And director. Could this be more obvious? We have somebody who swept all the awards. Every award! And it's Sam Mendes.
Yeah.
He did a one-take war movie. He's winning Best Director.
Yeah, there's just no competition here. This is almost as locked in as Deakins is to win cinematography.
Acting categories. This is super easy. We can almost just breeze through them. Joaquin Phoenix, winning for Joker. Is there a question in your mind?
No.
Renee Zellweger, winning for Judy. Is there a question in your mind?
No.
Pitt.
Nobody.
Huge lock for Pitt. There's no way he's not winning. He's obviously getting an Oscar.
The acting categories are the easiest things I've ever seen.
And Laura Dern is winning.
Glenn Close had people nipping at her heels. She tied the Critics' Choice with Lady Gaga. Coleman won the BAFTA. Nobody's nipping at anybody's heels anymore.
Now we get into the screenplay categories. It's a little tricky here. We got 2-horse races in both of them. Original screenplay is a race between Parasite and Hollywood. Parasite has the Writers Guild and the BAFTA. Mind you, the Writers Guild, Tarantino's not a member, he cannot be nominated, so it technically did not beat its competition.
So you're telling me the only place Parasite beat Hollywood, Cole, is the BAFTA.
That's correct. We know that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood won Critics' Choice and Golden Globe. Now, this same exact scenario occurred with Birdman versus Budapest Hotel, and one that won the BAFTA and the Writers Guild, Budapest. Which one prevailed? It was Birdman. If we were to mirror it, we would find that Hollywood is winning. So this is a total toss-up for me. I am lost. I don't know what to do. I'm a wee bear lost in the woods, and I can't find my mommy.
BAFTA in original screenplay is not highly correlated at all. They gave it to 3 Billboards, they gave it to Budapest Hotel, they gave it to The Favorite last year when Green Book went on to win. I wouldn't put that much stock in the BAFTAs, but I don't know what to put stock into. And they also are gonna like Hollywood. They nominated that for many, many awards. I'm just saying, it's really fucking close. I actually don't know what I'll pick. I might be changing to the last minute. If Parasite gets screenplay, I will accept that it could win Best Picture by the end of the night. If it does not get screenplay, I will lose all hope. I don't know how much faith I have in Parasite. Even the Critics' Choice didn't give Parasite Best Screenplay. And they're supposed to love it, and they didn't. So who loves Parasite? Tell me what award body absolutely loves it. I'll go with Hollywood, because putting my feelings aside, It won Critics' Choice and it won Golden Globe, and I could just not count the WGA if I really don't want to. I could just say that didn't happen, like, because it wasn't competing.
I'm gonna go with Hollywood because
Really?
I was right on it when I did the Golden Globes. It was a good luck charm. Hollywood technically has better odds of winning. Hollywood won more Best Picture awards than Parasite. It is keeping me up at night, so just know that I could change this last minute. I have no idea what I'm gonna do. Not decided. Moving on to adapted screenplay. This is Little Women versus Jojo Rabbit, isn't it? Because we have...
This is a hard one. This is just as hard, I think.
The Writers Guild gave it to Jojo Rabbit. The BAFTAs gave it to Jojo Rabbit. The Critics' Choice gave it to Little Women. The most accurate out of the last 10 years is actually the USC Scripter Award, which went to Little Women. I'm going to go with Jojo Rabbit because the Writers Guild, while not technically the most accurate, if you look at when they didn't give it to a movie, most of the time it was because it wasn't eligible or it was in the other category, except for last year when they gave it to Can You Ever Forgive Me, which was a clear anomaly. So the Writers Guild actually have a really good track record of picking the winner.
Jojo Rabbit has a lot of support, and I feel like it's that Green Book crowd that's like looking for that crowd pleaser that makes you feel good. The biggest thing in its favor, Little Women, is that people are upset that Greta Gerwig didn't get a director nomination, and what if they put her on stage? Does Little Women have like this groundswell of support for like Greta Gerwig, who's at the helm of it, to give her the screenplay?
What's more likely to win Best Picture?
Jojo Rabbit hasn't won shit.
I don't care. It's more likely to win Best Picture.
Sure,
it's more
Jojo
Best
Rabbit,
Picture
yeah, sure. Alright, I'm gonna say Jojo Rabbit because it is true that it is more likely, I feel, than Greta Gerwig's movie to win Best Picture. And justice was not served with Green Book, so I'm not holding on to the fact that justice will be served for this year.
Production design.
This is not easy
You're
for
a
me.
dumbass.
This is not easy
Now,
for me.
Alert, alert, easy category. Hollywood's winning. Hollywood won the Art Directors
You
Guild.
can say
And Hollywood,
that.
shut the fuck up.
Oh.
Hollywood won the Critics' Choice Award. And guess how correlated the Critics' Choice Award is with the Oscar in production design? Heavily correlated.
Except the BAFTA gave 1917 art direction. But
Bias.
that's also a British film.
Exactly.
I'd say Hollywood is the frontrunner. However, 1917 has a really good case to make for why it should win an Oscar. They built a city, they built a house that was on fire. So that is like something to behold. The scene with the ruins, like that is a set.
Don't predict off the argument, predict off of what is statistically a better odds, and you called Hollywood the frontrunner. Easy. They like sets that are nice and glamorous to look at, and 1917 set is dirty and muddy and gross.
I can totally see 1917 taking production design.
Go ahead and take the bet, buddy. You will lose.
It is an outside shot.
Only one movie since the category started in 2009 at the Critics' Choice lost production design at the Oscars.
Fine, I will go with Hollywood. But don't be surprised if 1917 gets that award.
Cinematography. We all know Roger Deakins is winning, and there is no objection.
No.
Can we move on to the next category?
Yeah.
Editing. Tricky one. Parasite, unlikely as it seems, won the Eddie Award. Last year, the Eddie went to Bohemian Rhapsody, which was the only award it won before taking the Oscar. Critics' Choice, they went with 1917. It is not nominated. That is no help to us. And then we had the BAFTA, who gave it to Ford versus Ferrari. Now, Ford vs. Ferrari winning at the BAFTA is not entirely surprising because 5 times out of the last 10, they went with a vroom vroom car driving movie. So that's like their thing. It's not surprising that they gave it to Ford vs. Ferrari. I have no goddamn idea what's going to win. Parasite is seen as very slick and like precisely put together. A lot of great montages. I think it would deserve to win editing. I hope it wins editing.
But then Ford v Ferrari is the faster edited movie, the movie with the most cuts, and we know that that's important, don't we? La La Land could not win editing because Hacksaw Ridge had more cuts.
And Boyhood couldn't win editing because Whiplash had more cuts. When we compare the Oscars to the Eddie Award, the movie with the most cuts always wins at the Oscars. Boyhood and Arrival and The Descendants, which won editing at the Eddies, are among movies that did not win at the Oscars. Movies that lost to movies with more editing. Now here's the thing. Arrival, very much like Parasite. Precisely edited, but it does not win the Oscar because they gave it to the movie that had the most editing, a la Hacksaw Ridge. I actually kind of think that Ford vs. Ferrari is the better match here.
I'm also gonna say that Ford vs. Ferrari, because I made a better argument with it, I guess. Cut to like the gear stick, and then like the foot pedal, and then like the vroom.
Joker is my outside shot.
Oh, fuck.
Surprise pick.
No.
I'm mentioning this. Fuck you.
Oh my god, goodbye.
Look, I'm just saying, like, maybe. I'm just saying maybe.
Oh my.
Costumes. Jojo Rabbit beat Little Women at the Costume Guild, but Little Women wasn't nominated, and that was likely a screener issue. Dolomite won costumes at the Critics' Choice. That is no help to us. But the BAFTAs gave it to Little Women.
Little Women's gonna win because it has more costume. It doesn't make any sense not to award that. But Jojo Rabbit could dark horse it.
And moving on to another tricky category, visual effects. I am torn on this one. Now, what am I not predicting that others are perhaps predicting?
The Avengers.
And The Lion King.
And The Lion
I am
King.
not predicting The Avengers, The Lion King. Why am I not doing this? The visual effects is actually interesting when you line up what the Oscars do with the Critics' Choice and with the Visual Effects Society and the BAFTA. The Oscars don't like superhero movies, Marvel movies. They've never given it to any of the Apes movies. The Visual Effects Society likes giving it to those movies. And the Critics' Choice likes giving it to those movies. They like Blade Runner. They gave it to First Man, okay?
It's gonna be 1917 or The Irishman. And it's a really hard one to pick. Because Irishman is like an achievement that they've never done before. But at the same time, it's not flawless. You have 1917, its own right, is an achievement because of the one take thing. But Irishman is pioneering new technology. VFS Society gives Irishman the award in Best Supporting Visual Effects over 1917. So Irishman wins there. And then 1917's only win is BAFTAs. Okay? And they loved it. They gave it 7 fucking awards. So I don't know if that's like British bias or they just love the movie.
The Visual Effects Society's award for supporting visual effects has gone to the one that won the Oscar twice this decade. These movies didn't win anywhere else. So the Oscars are actually the only people who are somewhat likely to give it to something that won supporting effects at the Visual Effects Society. I think I'm going to go with 1917. The Irishman has the problem where not everybody thinks that the visual effects are totally seamless. Some find them distracting, some think they're flawed, and people ultimately have a problem with the body movements being older looking than the faces, and I think that actually will detract from it. Whereas 1917 has very seamless effects, and I think it works into the whole one-take thing. I think that people are starting to get behind 1917 winning, and it's actually number 1 on Gold Derby right now.
I am, like, torn between that and The Irishman still, because The Irishman is, like, a movie where they develop their own technology to achieve this thing. Whereas 1917, like, is there even an awareness campaign for the fact that this is, like, a visual effects thing, or what was visual effects and what wasn't? It's, like, a tie rate breaker, but right now I'm gonna say Irishman. 1917's, like, a little bit of a weird one. I mean, it's a war movie.
Best score? This one's going to Joker, right?
Yeah. But I wouldn't be shocked. I think that there's, a dark horse here, and that's 1917. It's Thomas Newman, who's been nominated 15 fucking times.
It's worth noting that Thomas Newman's especially overdue at the Oscars, but I don't think that matters. I think that it's going to be Joker. It's winning everything.
It has a female composer, which is very rare as well.
And it's winning everything, and that's all you need to know.
Even the BAFTAs gave it to Joker and didn't give it to their film with 1917, which they gave to a lot of technical awards too.
There you go.
So.
Sound awards? I'm going with 1917 on both sound awards. Ford vs. Ferrari may have won the sound guilds, one of which 1917 was not nominated somehow. The BAFTAs gave it sound. I feel like you can't beat the war movie. I feel like it's Dunkirk, and Dunkirk won both sound awards. If Ford v Ferrari wins one, I'm going to say it's editing, and then...
I don't think 1917 is quite as strong as Dunkirk, and I have a pretty strong feeling that, like, Ford v Ferrari could take an award here. I can also easily see 1917 winning both. They're both pretty close. I'm gonna say, like, 1917 sound editing, but Ford v Ferrari sound mixing.
Song? We're predicting Rocket Man?
Yeah.
There's no evidence to bet against it. The Oscars may have hated it and shut it out for a bunch of things, but I think it still may walk away with Best Song. How could they not give it to Taron and Elton? Animated Feature. Now that Klaus has won the Annie and the BAFTA, meaning that it's the only thing to win, like, multiple. Missing Link won the Golden Globe, and Toy Story 4 won the Critics' Choice. I'm gonna have to go with Klaus. It just won the most recent 2, which means it kind of popped up.
They're just saying, like, we don't need Toy Story 4 to win again. And Netflix is putting out animation that's actually, like, interesting, innovative, and new.
Klaus is equally popular with, like, people who have seen it.
Yeah,
Toy Story.
Klaus is very well liked, I think. By general moviegoers, has a very good IMDb score. People are looking for an alternative, and they found it with Klaus because it has 2 awards right now.
International feature is Parasite. This is obvious. Here's a bet for you. Bet all your money on Parasite, and your net worth will increase by 1%. Then we have documentary feature. I'm kind of withholding my prediction. I'm between American Factory and For Sama. But I'm withholding my prediction because the indie spirits, if whatever they give it to, if it's American Factory or For Sama, I will predict that to win the Oscar. If Apollo 11 wins, I guess I'll go with American Factory. Whenever the indie spirits have the winner of the Oscar among their nominees, it wins the award. A lot of times they don't have the winner among their nominees, but this year they've nominated all the frontrunners, so it's very likely that the winner is among the nominees.
Well, I think American Factory seems to be like a more important documentary, and For Sama seems to be one that people are like emotionally invested in.
American Factory is also on Netflix, which we shouldn't underestimate because Icarus was not expected to win, but that was on Netflix and it won. So I would say American Factory over For Sama. If For Sama wins the indie spirit, I will pick For Sama though.
Sure, I'll just go with that.
Makeup, Bombshell. Just won the BAFTA. It won the Critics' Choice. There's no way it would.
There's no competition.
All right, short films. Animated short, I will predict Hair Love. Really circulated on the internet nicely, but the runner-up here is Kit Bull, which any other year I think would be the winner. People love this short film. It's about a dog. Animal movies win all the time, but I think that Hair Love sort of has this factor of importance, and it also has the cuteness factor that they like in the animated feature category. Documentary short, I think Learning to Skateboard in a War Zone is like the safest bet. It's number 1 on Gold Derby. Don't really see any reason that the other runners-up would be a better bet. I think this is your best bet. And live action short, I think this is the category where, if any, you'll see an upset. Brotherhood's the Gold Derby frontrunner, but if we look outside Gold Derby, it's hard to find other people who think it's a frontrunner. It seems to be like the most artsy, serious, ambiguous movie. Whereas The Neighbor's Window is more lighthearted, fun, like immediately captivating.
It's more entertaining. Brotherhood is capital I important.
Nefta Football Club,
You thought that was like maybe a contender.
I think that could win.
I thought it was good. It was funny. It was, it sort of won me over by the ending for sure. It's like one of those movies where you're like, oh yeah, like, that's like there's a kind of a joke or a punchline at the end.
I think they're going to give it to the one that's more entertaining.
Neighbor's Window is definitely easier to like.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing.
Are you a big Oscar or a little Oscar?